Well, hello there. Nah, seriously, what's up, guys? I was gonna just make a video of me playing the game today, but yesterday I put out a video. Well, it was the day before, where me and some of the guys were talking. I mean, it's people are watching and stuff. It takes a while, especially after you've been going for a long time for your videos start cycling through. Hopefully, I'm going to be more regular on doing this because I'm getting a new laptop, and that'll help. But one thing I noticed after that video is I didn't feel like I addressed enough of the issues, like point by point. You know what I mean? Because I think it's time that we had this discussion. Like, like what are we empowering Arrowhead to do at this point? Let me get us a better scene. What I mean by that is that the more we play the game and we buy their stupid war bonds and stuff like that, the more we solidify in their head that their actions, what they're doing, is okay. And I'm not good with that. And I'll tell you why I'm not good with it. Because this isn't a PvP game. It's not. It's a PvE game that I play with. Here, let me private this so people don't join. Oops, wrong button again. Alright, so let's get into this. Guys, I feel like we have an issue here. Like, and by the way, I could put combat playing in the background, but I really want to get your attention for a minute. I want you to hear me out. Most of the time I do gameplay. Most of the format is have gameplay in the background, but I don't want you looking at my gameplay. You know, I put a little nice backdrop there. But instead, what I'd like you to do is to follow me in the whole conversation here. Not saying that you weren't before, but I mean, really, let's laser in on what's going on with HellDivers 2, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm watching this franchise burn down. I mean, look at the concurrent players. It's not. I thought that over the weekend, okay, like last weekend, I thought that we would get like a pickup, you know, like not just have regular 27 to 30,000, you know, day-to-day divers on. And by the way, that's a big drop. I mean, I haven't checked like Steam concurrent players, but I cannot believe. I mean, no, I'm used to seeing numbers around 50 to 70,000 just on the console side. Okay, if that gives you any idea. And instead, I'm seeing like not even 30,000 almost every day. Something that there's a lot of things that were brought up, but just real quick, if there is no end game, okay, so in other words, you get to max rank, what's the point in playing anymore? Especially after you find out everything we found out as a community as we went on. The devs, they really don't have a plan. You know, they're just taking the advice of whatever person kisses their ass the loveliest. And I'm not trying to be insulting. Look, I love the idea of the game. I loved the game back when I thought I knew what it was. Back when I thought that our actions on the galactic map mattered. But they don't matter. Even the more people, for instance, the more people we follow into a planet, the harder it is to take that planet. How does that make any sense? So, I think how it works is like the more people that are online, okay, and say 2,000 are working on bugs and 5,000 are working on bots, and we're dealing with the Illuminate, okay? Well, the more people that land on that planet, like in other words, you have to have everybody in on it. Nobody can be anywhere doing anything else. The only exception to that is that then they added how the arrows show where the reinforcements are coming from, and supposedly you could drop in there. But here, why would you do that? You have to take the fucking planet by yourself. And look, I thank you to every ranger that's in the 75th, every one of you HellDivers out there that put on a patch, and you play HellDivers. Like, I really respect and appreciate your time. And that's why I don't want to waste it, you know what I mean? And you know me, if you've been watching these videos, I love this game. I mean, I think what it was doing before was very healthy. It was creating community. It's something that we've lost as, you know, gamers. Like, I keep hearing people refer back to the days, how better things were back in the day. Dude, a lot of that is because we were more social. You know, people talked more. What's the first time I noticed a destroyer getting destroyed? I wonder what's going on down there. I already played the other day. I know there's nothing going on. But anyway, nothing really interesting. Now I've lost my place. So I mean, I have some points written down, but... Oh, yeah, I was talking about Rangers. So, luckily, thank God, we have enough Rangers to where it really should... I mean, if you're talking damn near 2,000 members, okay, out in the field on HellDivers 2, all focusing on the same objective, which is a side objective of the main objective, if you understand where I'm going. So, in other words, the main objective, the main operating point should be this planet. Well, we're attacking the planet that's sending reinforcements to that major order, okay, that major objective right there. And so go back to that side planet with the arrows pointing at that's providing reserves and stuff. Wouldn't us just be in there attacking and killing them cause them to have to defend the planet also? I mean, wouldn't that make a difference? I mean, I'm not saying this has to be like super in-depth tactical. It should be, by the way. Just real quick, let's go why it should be like that. We dive down on a planet, okay, and I think maybe there's, what, 10 or 15 biomes in this game in totality. We only have 3 mission variants. Well, I think it's 6 in total if you add in a commando ops. Basically, they're very limited. And look, it's the same types of missions, just they have different outcomes. We have it happen when we're playing all the time where it'll say, hey, go evacuate these citizens, but then we won't be in an evacuation mission, we'll be nuking the enemy. Why? Because it's the same exact thing. I mean, you go there and you defend a point while the people are supposed to be running. It's the game's even acknowledging that. You know what I mean? It's like, well, it's the same exact thing you were doing before, so who cares if we give you the right of operation? And this happens quite often, by the way. I don't intend on this being like a 2 hour. Yeah, I made a mistake yesterday. Just a real quick note with that video. I dropped 2 hours. It's probably like an hour and 45 minutes worth of gameplay alongside of what I was trying to talk about. What I had intended was to be in game with, say, Bones and Ryder and some of the other guys from the 75th, and then they could add in their own, you know, conjecture on what they were saying. But honestly, there weren't a whole lot of Rangers playing. And I mean, I'm telling you, most of these guys I've recruited from inside of this game. That's another thing, by the way. Why haven't they brought factions to the game? I mean, I remember the first argument in the beginning where, I don't know, and I don't want to get into all the bullshit on the side, but, you know, trainees and gay people wanted to have their own faction and call it, like, some horrible names and all that stuff. Like, I get not having that kind of shit, that toxic, like, regressive crap in there in the game, but I'm talking about legitimate factions. I mean, if you're talking about a military faction, which not even HellDivers itself can make up its mind what it is. I mean, are we the specialists, like Rangers, the actual real 75th Ranger Regiment in our military? Are they you know, special forces, or are they just lower than thief soldiers? I mean, because one minute they tell us, come become legend, blah, blah, blah. You know, when you bought the game, right? Look at the trash falling off. Where in the hell? Is that all coming from one destroyer? That's a lot of fucking... Jesus, man. Well, anyway, I guess they added in the backdrop of all the stuff coming up. But, man, that's a lot of trash from one. Sorry, I get caught off topic. But, alright, look, we're going to go down the list, and some of these things I'm going to address, and just bear with me, and then give me your opinion in comments, because, and I genuinely mean this, look, I make no money off of doing this shit. Literally, I get nothing. Nothing. I had to buy my own computer, guys, you know? I mean, I got on to where I was doing 3 videos a day, I was doing all that stuff, and when I see what happens to devs, content creators, what I mean, who get addicted to that financial drip from YouTube and other apps. I'm not just going to put this on YouTube. Whatever one out there, you know, the content creator gets paid. Well, then they feel forced to have to make videos every day. Not because you are forcing them to, but because in order for them to maintain the lifestyle that they've gotten used to. You know what I mean? And that's not cool. I don't want to be putting out videos just to put out videos, unless that's what you guys want. You know, just some gameplay, because that's what it would be. I don't really have, unless we're doing something major, like we're having an event in the community, say like in DayZ or whatever game, which we have them from time to time. I won't, like, in other words, I'll use this platform to promote like what we're all doing as a group to get us all in unition. But outside of that, I don't know, man. Making YouTube videos is just a passion project for me. You know, I'm not saying I'm good at it or or any of that stuff. I mean, I know how to do. I could add gameplay and behind this. I could do voiceovers and all that, but I'm really not trying to approach you that way. I'm approaching you instead as a HellDiver, not just as a HellDiver, but as a community member. Okay, a member of this illustrious HellDivers community. And I think that all these points are valid and they matter. I mean, especially because we're financing them. I mean, look, finally, other people are starting to talk about something I was talking about a while ago, which is getting dangerous, which is all these war bonds they keep putting out. Always new weapons, and they put them up on the store and all that stuff. But where's all... They're not adding any more free weapons to the game at all? And I don't, dude, the tank and all that shit, that is not adding free shit, okay? And that is it's been 2 years, guys. I mean, 2 years. There's literally no end game in this game. But the tank is nobody uses a tank. There was one dude that was using it during a very specific mission where we had to defend, again, it was getting HVTs out. But instead, it turned out to be us protecting a nuclear silo that was shooting nukes. But anyway, I saw this guy canted at an angle, and then he got into the tank side seat and started firing. Dude, look, some of these weapon designs worked on a top-down sense, maybe, but they don't work. No, not like this. And then you hear the devs, what do they tell you? Oh, I want to make it like Escape from Tarkov. Yeah, okay, guy. You are so far from realistic weapon designs. Get the fuck out of here. Just don't even talk to me about that. You couldn't compete with Escape from Tarkov. You couldn't do it, so just stop. And I'm not saying that Tarkov is better. I'm saying that this game is not Escape from Tarkov, and it never will be. And that should make you rightfully question, like, why do they keep nerfing the fucking guns in a PvE game? You know, that gets into that ego they have over there, you know. And I'm telling you, I said this, maybe I didn't say it, but I really think a lot of those guys are radical left wing, because this is how they act normally. I'm talking about the radical left wing guys, like in a political sense, right? They do. I mean, I know, I get it, guys, but I mean, think I'm crazy, whatever, it's cool. I'm good with that. Sometimes I am, but I tell you what normally happens is that it turns out I'm right. I mean, it's like I got a fucking chronometer just for these people. I mean, when they start talking, man, all I need is a few sentences to know what they're about, you know, and where they fall at on that ideological divide, you know, whether you're just easy going, let anything happen, whether you have honor and, you know, and a sense of what's good for your community and everything else, or whether you're just flat out destructive and ignorant and always anti somebody you don't like because you just don't like them. I'm talking about the left. We all know that's how they act. At least the people that I know that hang out with me do, because we're not even going to argue over that right now. But either way, yeah, the left is self-destructive. I mean, suicide. It's like a suicide pact, and that's what they're doing in this game right now. And again, please don't take me out of context. I do not hate this game. I really didn't dislike or hate the devs. I don't hate the devs, but I don't like them, and I'll tell you why. And I'm going to get into more of that as we go, but I'm going to tell you right now why. I watched the CEO sit on a program, and I've said this, I think, in a video yesterday, and flat out said, he called all HellDivers players COD players, which, by the way, is meant to be an insult. I've heard it a million times before, so, like, I've gotten comments where, no, that ain't what he meant. Yes, it is definitely. He meant it as a fucking insult. What he meant when he said that, and he's even taken everything he said in context. He's talking about the players and how he wanted a more specialized, more competent player, okay? I mean, it's not odd to hear people use insults and, say COD players. That is definitely an insult. Most people use it, so wake up. These people, I don't want to call them glazed divers because I think that gives them too much credit. But it's just these I don't understand some of these, like, fanboys. Guys, you're not helping the game at all. I mean, understand it's not just about how hard you suck on their, private parts that's going to make this game good. It matters how many people play and enjoy the actual game. And I'm telling you, from where I'm standing, if I'm on here making videos right now and talking to all you guys about this shit, okay, then it's gone bad. Alright? Because I would put up with a lot in this game. A whole lot. Considering what I think is the overarching good of the game, which is the PvE side of it and the social aspect of it. I've been able to meet so many great people in this game. I mean, not everybody. There's been quite a, it's hit or miss sometimes. But for the most part, the community itself is freaking amazing. I mean, and it's so weird because you have a very small subset of players, I guess, that are on this train. Yeah, nerf this, nerf that, do this, do that, make it harder, do all this other stuff. They're trying to impose their idea of what they think a good game is onto us. Like, they're trying, I guess they like that EFT fantasy, I don't know. Why they don't just go play Escape from Tarkov? Now that's a real question, right? Why do they want to destroy the game that we all paid for, and turn it into something that they could go and play themselves right now? They don't need to turn this game into that, right? And it's funny because they try to say that our side is no, we're trying to say make the game better, dude. We're not. There's no point in nerfing weapons in a fucking PvE game. You're not fighting other players. It doesn't need to be fair. Like, I don't get this. I mean, do you want to... You can't have it both ways. You can't say you want realistic, realism, blah, 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 and then have it based on us going to war with aliens, bugs, and fucking cyborgs, that we have no way... There is no way to equate that to realism. Do you understand what I mean? Because in real life, they don't exist. Like this, it's insane to me, but I've heard this argument before, and it's just so low, it's low bar. But the more thing is, it's not even about insulting or kicking these people. What are you guys doing? Legitimately, what is going through your fucking mind? Do you play this game at all? I'm talking to the people that keep supporting these devs and their insane grunt fantasy idea and all that other nonsense. I'm talking specifically to you. What are you doing? What changes are so important to you that you're going to destroy this fucking game? And that is exactly what you're doing. I don't want to hear otherwise. When you're nerfing people's fun, you're not just nerfing the gun, you're nerfing their fun. That's their, and they way outnumber you, and you know that. The health of this game, if you like this game in general, if you love it so much, you're doing the exact opposite of what you should be doing, which is trying to save it. Like, at some point, the devs have to take into account what the players who are buying their product tells them. And this game, in a lot of ways, has pretty much... I mean, it's made $300 just off the fucking war bonds in the last 2 years, not including the price of the game itself. I mean, I'm telling you, they've made a killing on this game. We've made them rich. I mean, and maybe that's why their egos have gotten so fucking bloated. Alright, let's go down this. And yes, I am aggravated, by the way, real quick, at this small group of Discord members. It's so crazy to me that the Arrowhead allows this to happen, honestly. Like, they get on a Discord, it's, I guess, that they could control the kickoff. They only go to Reddit places where they could control the kickoff, where they could get people doxxed and everything else. Like, and I'm not saying that the devs are directly responsible. I mean, I'm saying that their words, okay, their actions are what led to that. You cannot feed a radical side of your group and then think that they're not going to do something like that. I just don't believe for 5 seconds there were devs and parties out there hanging out and running their fucking mouths. I mean, they can't stop running their mouths when they're on TV, Like I said, the CEO calling everybody COD players and how we might lose quarters of our player base, but then we can build from there. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, guy? What are you talking about? You are never going to be escaped from Tarkov. Like I said, it's never going to happen. And if you are, you're going to do it alone. I won't be there. And then we'll see how enthused all these people are that are, you know, sucking on your genitals so hard that they're giving you skin burn. Let's see how much they enjoy the game then, when we aren't here to back that up. All these big events and everything, all that costs money, and people are getting really turned off right now, and I am too. I'm getting aggravated. Look, when you start insulting the community at large, and I know that they didn't mean you ass kissers over there. I know what they meant. They meant all of us over here, and I was kind of in the middle at that point. But when, like I said, when I heard the dev, you know, watching that stupid freaking thing where they're reading through the dev notes, and then the guy goes, oops, no notes on nerfing the coyote, and they fucking knew. They didn't nerf the coyote. I mean, technically, I guess it's true what they said. That's slimy as fuck. Politicians do that shit, guys. We can't do much about the politicians, especially with all the rigging and the elections and shit going on in this country. However, we can do something about that in this game. We don't have to support them. And I'm telling you that what's coming soon, the new the new war bond, this you know, where they're releasing 2 more exosuits. Why? I have no idea, because exosuits are freaking broken right now. I mean, try to call one in on level 7. Say on I'm sorry, fighting the robots, which is where the cyborgs, which is where they would be most useful, by the way, in my opinion. Different variants for different places, but still, it'd be wildly useful in a place where there's actually bullets coming at you, you know, to be able to absorb the bullets from the enemy. You know, it'd be wildly useful. I think you can agree with me on that. But no, instead, what do? They nerf our armor, and they buff. It's like this fantasy of theirs that they have that, like I said, I think it's a Spaceballs fantasy, and I really think it's kind of a humiliation ritual. I think they like the idea of us getting, because they know it pisses us off, you know? I mean, it doesn't piss me off, it just disappoints me. I'm so used to, at this point, devs getting to this point and acting like this, that I really don't even get mad anymore. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, guys, and I just stopped supporting them. And I've been doing that. I haven't been on. I mean, that's why you don't see a whole lot more videos coming out at the moment, based on HellDivers. I mean, most of my content was HellDivers related, and I started branching out when I started getting the uh-oh feeling. I started branching out to other games, and now I rarely hop in here anymore. I mean, to be honest with you, because even their new content's really not new content. Like I said, it's just more of the same fucking missions. Raise a flag, you know, collect some resources. You know, it's like the same, like, probably 7 missions over and over and over and over again. And commando missions just aren't fun to play, especially alone, but in general, they're just not fun to play. This game is not designed for that. I mean, I get it, guys. I get it. I want there to be like that super tactical, you know, commando feel to it too. But it just doesn't work in a game like this. This game's strength is its flat out destruction. You know what I mean? The sheer scale of being able to call in a fucking 500 kilogram bomb that blows up in front of you, that kind of stuff. It's not creeping around the badly. I mean, the terrains look great and all that, but once you lay down or you run around in a circle just a few seconds, you start getting the idea that your character feels a little disconnected from the actual, you know, ground. Like, for every step, you only move like a little tiny bit. I'm telling you, look down at your feet and do a circle one time, and I think you'll see what I'm talking about. Or turn left to right, move your character like one way, and then turn him to go the other way. I mean, it's so weird, dude. It's like your guy walks backwards towards, and then he just doesn't move like a person. And before you start giving them breaks, this game does look decent, okay? But there are games out there right now, especially with the AI assist and all that other stuff, that look insanely unrealistically good. I'm talking, I mean, really, there isn't. Look, guys, I'm not saying I know everything about. I don't make video games. I do make content though, and I know it goes into that. I know how to do quite a lot of things. but I'm not trying to entertain you as much as I'm trying to communicate with you. If I was, I'd be doing a normal video where I'm running through blowing shit up and all that. I'm going to try to keep this relatively short too, by the way. Probably, hopefully, under a half an hour at least. But I'll do my best. I haven't even gotten to the list yet, but I'm not going to cover all these things because I kind of covered them in the opening, but... Alright, so check out some of these things. The insane monetization, okay? And I put that number 1 for a reason.
Independence.
Apparently we're not going to get any more weapons or items that we don't pay for. That's the model that I'm seeing going on here. I was telling people this a long time ago, and now people are finally, you know, starting to make videos on it and covering it and stuff. You know, because it's kind of disgusting. We bought a game, okay? If they want, like a service fee or something like that, then just charge a service fee and say, look, this is what you're going to get every month for you paying this. And I expect some of that to be improved game graphics, by the way. I'm sorry, game content. Not just, like, filling the whole fucking map with, fog to cover the, you know, all the atrocities that you would normally see. That's the biggest reason they make a lot of these battle zones, like, you know, to the point you can't even see 5 feet in front of you. I mean, the more of that shit that's going on, the less your eye gets drawn to, like, say, bugs or things underground twiddling and spinning. That's that tech debt that people talk about. And we're going to be getting into that, but briefly. So every time they put out a new war bond, this is on the monetization tab, they buff that weapon. Or something about that weapon, okay? The flamethrower, they buffed how flames make you panic and all that stuff. And then, to implement it, they fucking sold you an item. You know what I mean? I mean, the cremator is better with the backpack. And some of it is for good reasons. But it's still kind of, I don't know. To me, it just undermines all the other flame weapons. In other words, that weapon, you're buying that improved weapon for that slot, I would say probably for a month, maybe 2 months, right? And then I guarantee you, later they're going to go back and nerf it in some way. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, we'll see. Every time so far they've done that. They'll release a decent weapon, or it might be decent in the beginning, and then they'll come out and throw out nerfs, and people get mad and leave the game, and then they'll come back and... You know, then we get excited for the next fucking slop shit that they're gonna sell us. I mean, dude, I didn't expect that this game was gonna be so expensive, to be honest with you. I mean, it's literally just an extraction shooter in a third-person perspective. You know what I mean? And imagine what other companies are watching this game do. Imagine what this is setting up for the future. I mean, they know that you're at least going to spend $12 a month just to have decent weapons. Imagine where Battlefield is going. Are you really ready to buy every fucking weapon that gets introduced to the game? Every item, every badge, every cape? A few maybe in-game credits, but not enough to really do anything, you know what I mean? Just enough to wet your whistle to get you to want to go and buy some super credits to get that sweeper shotgun that you can only get through the store. You know, like a premium item that you have to pay for. Oh, man. This is not the kind of video I wanted to make about, just so you know, about HellDivers. I know I've said this a couple times now, but I think it's really important to keep reiterating that I don't want to talk bad about this game. But I'm not going to lie to you guys. A lot of you guys are members of the same community that I'm in which case, you're my brother, and I'm always going to speak the truth to you guys. I don't care. I'm not going to lie to you about stupid shit like that. Especially when it comes to free time, because you might take a break for a while, come back, but no, well, here's the video telling you where we're at with the game. And we're not in a good spot. We're not. I mean, besides that the game is buggy as hell right now, the enemies are all broken all over the place. I mean, you got problems with the Terminate, the bugs, you got problems with the bots, you got problems with the Illuminate, you know, all in varying different angles, like the Alpha Commanders having more coverage on armor on their fronts. A lot of the bots are getting the same thing done to them, or they're having their armor basically strengthened while our exosuits are being weakened and nerfed. I mean, it's just time after time after time and time again, they empower the enemy and they nerf and weaken us. Do I think... okay, so this kind of leads into that. Like, for one, we're not in a good place with that game. I mean, there's nothing to do, like Bones was saying the other day after level 25. After you get to, all the war bonds. I don't know if he's adding in actual war bonds and paid ones, because you really shouldn't have to add that in. That should be more specialized equipment that you're buying. It's like a fucking DLC. I mean, for God's sakes, there's games releasing entire drops of info. You know what I mean? Like whole new game features, whole extensions to lore and all that stuff for $10 or below. It was $9.99 for an average DLC. And we're paying just to get a few guns and maybe a grenade and some stickers. Way to look a little bit better. And this isn't the only game doing that, by the way. And not a lot of the stuff I get for free, but they've been changing a bit. But Space Marines 2 is doing it to a degree too. And look, we're the ones doing it to ourselves. This is going to become average, just like content creators, not myself, getting rich now on an average daily basis on here because, I don't know, I mean, for everybody complaining about not having enough money for gas, they sure seem to spread it around on freaking social media awful heavily. You know what I mean? And in games, they spend the hell out of their money there. I mean, if you got enough to go and be buying, war bonds with a pistol you like, for $10, and you really shouldn't be bitching about the gas. In my opinion, the prices of gas. If you got money to waste on shit like that, then you're definitely not barely surviving. You're just maybe not very good with money. I mean, because you're surviving mighty well, if you can afford to do that and still live. I don't know. I'm not filthy rich, so every time I got to buy one of these war bonds, I was doing tests on it, but I just, honestly, there's only two ways to do that. Either the devs are going to give you free access to the content, which there's more than a few content creators that get that. And no matter what, I don't have that relationship with the devs, and I never will. And I tell you why I won't. Because, again, I will never just... I'm as likely to make a bad video about them as I am a good one. You know what I mean? I'm going to call them out when they do bad shit, and I'm going to call them... I'm going to, pat them on the back when they do good shit. Because that's what I make my videos for. I make my videos for other members of the community if maybe they're trying to decide on a game they want to buy, and so they're wanting to know what I think about it. I mean, a few people do care what I think about games, so they come and check my video out on it. That's why I've never gotten super serious about it. I'm just doing this, like I said, as a benefit, really, I guess. And plus, I'm disabled, and I feel like I owe it to, everybody. Because I wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for all of you. So, don't take what I say too hard, but at the same time, we have to be intelligent about what we're spending our money on. If we're investing into a game that doesn't respect you, your time, or your effort, I mean, and obviously with no end game, they don't respect, where you're at the end of the game, which is where everybody's going to get to that point. Everybody is. I hope that they change it around, but as to this point, 2 years later after launch, I believe it's been 2 years or a year and 9 months or something. After all that time, we're still in the same place. We haven't. I mean, what new missions besides what is it? The Commando Ops that hardly nobody plays ever. What new missions have we gone? I mean, leave in the comments section. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. I don't think so, though. I'm pretty sure I've done every mission type in this game. At least 150,000 times. I mean, I was kind of picking on Space Marines 2 the other day because doing operations over and over again, there's 12 operations. But when you think about it, that's exactly what we're doing in this game. And the biggest thing, like I said, that kept bringing me back was the idea that our actions would affect the game. But now we know that that's just not true. Not to mention that, but the devs are more than happy without any consequence just erase all our hard earnings and all that stuff. Like what happened when apparently they were hacked or whatever. Somebody apparently did it to help us, which didn't help us at all. It didn't help us just doing it. Even if the devs hadn't come back later on and reset everything when we didn't have enough players on, players had gotten burned out. You know what I mean? Doing the missions over and over and over again. I mean, I don't know. Let me see if there's anything else I haven't covered just in passing, just by talking about it. Devs and CEOs ignorant. Yeah, I've already talked about that. Yeah, them attacking the HellDivers community again. This is really getting carried away, guys. I mean, the last like probably 4 videos they put out have been insulting in some manner, you know. And I mean, when the CEO of the company is like running his dirty mouth about the community, I mean, that should give you a hint as to where this game's going. And I'm not saying abandon or do anything. I'm saying maybe it's time that we reminded the devs that we are out here and that our opinion matters. You know, like, don't buy this Warbond coming up. I'm not buying it anyway because I don't see anything interesting in there. I mean, the name Exosuit Pilot thing, I was like, oh, that might be. Nope. It's not interesting at all. Even the passive that's attached to the armor has nothing to do with mechs. Has nothing to do with the exosuits. And the exosuits, flat out, frankly, suck ass. I mean, maybe the new one with the shield on the front of it could be interesting, maybe. But every time I say that, they come around and fucking nerf it and destroy the damn item, and then nobody wants to use it anymore. Dude, I was so stoked about the tank. I mean, just us talking as friends, you know, just us bantering back and forth. Can you agree? I was super excited. Everybody, man, when I got on, there were so many of my guys on. It was so fucking good. It was so awesome. I love running with my brothers. I mean, and everybody was just stacked. We had squads fucking tearing shit up all over the galaxy. Now I look on there and there's hardly anybody on. Now watch. I'm going to get on there and watch everybody's. No, look. The white ones are ones that are online right now, not in the game. He's in the game, and yeah, he's a pretty good dude. The rest of these are all, I mean, guys, this is insane. These people, like this dude right here, a lot of these guys have been in a lot of my videos. So, I mean, if you want to know who they are, go watch some of my other content. Leave a thumbs up, please. Pretty please. I mean, I know I'm not like one of them super professional content creators, but I'm not trying to be. I'm just trying to make content that I think that you might enjoy and might give you some idea, maybe if you don't know already. Because, I mean, obviously people have jobs. They don't have the time I do. I mean, sadly, I don't want to get into, but either way, with my injuries, I mean, I have plenty of time to keep up on a lot of this stuff going on games. I'm telling you, it's heading in a bad direction. Monetization is insane. That has to be dealt with now. Not next week. Not something we should talk about maybe later. No, like right now. I guess this is just how they're going to keep doing it, is releasing more random items, maybe an armor set or something like that, and screw the tech debt, screw how many bugs are in the game, screw how much it might fuck the game up. You know what I mean? Screw the fact that we're still doing the same stupid missions that we were doing in the beginning. Yeah, I mean, screw all that. Screw the entire game itself. Screw the fact that we, as a community of tactical players, and I like to believe that everybody in this game has proven now at this point that they're not only just bodies down there shooting things randomly, that they're strategic too. I mean, the devs didn't need to tell us about the Arrow thing. The community picked up on that real quick. We were already doing side missions, like I said earlier. The problem is that it turned out that was all horseshit. I mean, only if you do a mechanical takedown of the entire planet. In other words, like, it ticks a box. Oh, the planet's not in our control anymore. You mean to tell me that 3/4 away taking over a planet, it's not going to affect the amount of resources going to another planet? Even a quarter, 10%, say 10% of the whole planet is is engaged in warfare, and they lose 10%, okay, of the 100% capacity that's on that planet. Are they still going to be sending reinforcements to the other planet? I don't think so. And before you say that they can't, yes, they can. They can do that in the background. For one, they have a person that's supposedly running us. That's what they say. Okay, that's running these galactic warfare simulations. I don't know if I buy that, by the way. And it's somewhere in their system they have all these magic numbers, but they won't show any of them to us. How can we? It's not just like, hey, show us a proof. Or by the way, I think they should, because we bought their and we're buying their product. But that isn't the main thing. I'm talking about, like, how can we function as a military, as an attacking force? Some of us not just aren't happy to just randomly throw our time in wherever for no reason. One thing that kept a lot of us older players from the beginning in the game, was the idea that our actions affected the outcome, in some way. And I'm sure that our actions do affect the outcome in some way, like the ways that they've outlined. Maybe, I mean, hell, most of the time we find out about a weapon being nerfed or something not functioning, like the stun thing, how the status effect wasn't applying for a lot of them weapons. We didn't know that forever. Yeah, we all thought we were like, I mean, imagine how stupid we probably looked at these guys. We were like, damn, look at the fire burn, look at the statuses, like a stun or whatever. And it really wasn't even working. The status wasn't even working, it was just we believed them and trusted them, and we saw what we wanted to see. I get it. Makes sense, right? Because we trusted them as developers, but they've squandered that trust. I mean, and honestly, in your opinion, you don't think they have? I mean, besides all the insulting shit that they keep saying every time they make a fucking statement, besides all that, the fact that they don't listen to the majority, I'm talking to 75 to 80% of divers out there that are just like, yo, stop nerfing the fucking weapons. The fact that they come out and they flat out insult everybody who doesn't want them to keep nerfing the weapons that a lot of them that we paid for. You know what I mean? I mean, they're talking about nerfing the sweeper shotgun. Bro, I bought that. I bought it with those stats in mind. What the fuck are you doing? What do you mean you're gonna nerf it? If you nerf it, then I don't have the product that I bought, do I? I mean, and like I said, it was funny. I don't know. I get comments sometimes that just boggle my brain. I'm just like, where are these people? Dude, you're literally fighting against yourself. When you're on here glazed eye, sorry, I don't want to call it that. When you're on here reaming the a-hole of these devs, I'm talking about in a pleasurable way, okay? When you're on here doing that and not listening to everybody else, including likely to yourself, because you very likely know that what we're saying is 100% true. When you do that, you're making it to where the game is worse, and it's okay to stay worse. Do you see why most people don't want you making it, like, having any feedback on the games and what goes in the game or doesn't go? I mean, get the fuck out of here, dude. I mean, I just want the game to be harder. Okay, well, they have tier 10, and if you don't think that's too hard, I don't know. I think you're full of shit. I do. I think that you're full of shit, because at that point, you're dodging and ducking and running and dodging so much, you're barely even killing anything. I mean, you might get an odd fucking shot off and do some damage, early on, but as soon as that wave hits you, and that's another thing, that's another bug that's in this game, is that if the waves were worked out to where they didn't get hemmed up sometimes, because sometimes you'll do like a tier 7 mission, and instead of having the waves of enemies that normally would come at you, nothing will happen. Like, I've had missions where me and the guys are just sitting there laughing and joking, and you know what I mean, instead of... Matter of fact, I've had more than a few times where the guys weren't laughing or joking, they were getting pissed because we were waiting for the enemies to come and attack us when we were getting ready to extract, as they always do. And instead, no enemies came. Nobody showed up. And it's because there's a bug in the game that's preventing the waves of enemies from spawning right or appearing right or hitting you right. Sometimes they hit you too hard. Like, I know this has happened to you if you play the game and you put any time into it. Come on, don't be a liar now. Don't glaze for... Don't go that hard, man. But you're in a game, and next thing you know, there's so many enemies. It's like a carpet. They're everywhere. I've had that happen a lot. It really does suck, man. Because I don't like dying. Nobody likes dying, but man, it is so ignoble when you realize this probably wouldn't have happened if the game was actually, developed better. And this might be why, I don't know, HellDivers, Arrowhead isn't really doing any other military, as far as I know, military type games like this, because I don't know if they can handle it. I mean, they got, like I said, they got a lot of attention, affection, community love, and so what they do with that? They spit it in our faces. And they're like, no, our idea is this. And we're like, guy, we like what you did. Just leave it alone, man. Just let us play the game. Just maybe keep adding content to it, you know? And they're like, okay, we'll keep adding content. And they keep trying to charge you $10 a month, if not more, just to get that content for any new additions, basically. And they added more fog, so you might think the game feels a little bit different on the map. And it's like, come on, man. It's like everything they're doing is kind of underhanded and back. You know, it's like backstab you. It's very aggravating, man. It's very hard for me to stay positive for a game that I love so much when I clearly know, to me, their actions, anybody out there, your actions to me will define you to me. Like, if you're out there murdering babies all day, then you're a fucking baby murderer. I know this is a horrible example or comparison, but it works fairly well. You know what I mean? Your actions, you can tell a lot by somebody's actions. And all I ever see from the devs, all we ever find out by releases, inside leaks, and stuff like that, is how the devs constantly nerf us, constantly work against us. Remember yesterday I was talking about, or this day before the last video I put out, I was talking about the DM, you know, the antagonistic DM, or basically the competitive DM. That's where the DM has to be right about everything. The DM has to win in all cases. They give you minor victories or things we might think are major, but they're minor. And keep in mind what they think we are. We're like Spaceballs. We're like the people on Spaceballs. You know, 2 oversized helmets. You know, the goofy fucker that gets shot. When the first one through the door, he's the one who gets shot. Can you survive in a Spaceballs world where your own turret tries to murder you? And again, I'll say that in real life, our own equipment in modern day would not do that to one of our soldiers. I mean, I'm not saying there could be malfunctions, but we're not talking about a malfunction. It's a fucking design choice. And I get it now that, like, democracy protects, haha. It was kind of funny in the beginning, right? But now it's more punishing. It's more insulting. For one, I would fight for democracy, wouldn't you? I mean, probably not all-out democracy, more like a republic. I kind of feel like it's America, in a way, you know? Maybe it wasn't, and I'm not saying the devs go along. I do go along with that at all. I do feel like, though, that it's like Super Earth is kind of like, and HellDivers are kind of like maybe an amalgamation of all the Western society. I don't know, because you're not going to find a whole lot of that going on in Iran or something like that. You really think they're dumb enough to take a pea shooter in when they're fighting like fucking giant robots? No, they're not. They would run, or they would get a bigger gun. But apparently we don't have bigger guns in here. The bigger guns that we have, like the Deadeye, for instance, dude, that gun is actually pretty descriptive when you think about it. I mean, it's dead. It literally, I mean, I get it. Some people are really good. They can get them eye shots all the time. But most of the time, it's going to take you a lot of shots to hit a weak point on an enemy that isn't consistent anyway. I mean, they keep changing the weak points on the enemies, too. They keep, like, boosting the durability of those weak points, or hiding them to where it's very hard for you to get them. So in other words, like I said, I'll keep going back to Alpha Commander, because I think that was such a good job that guy, that content creator laid out about that's a guy that like I said, has a plate on his head and on his back, is just the front side and the front of his legs. How you can't get a shot. Like, I guess you can, but you gotta, like, really get it in there to get a weak point shot. That's not... The idea behind the weak point system should be, from any angle, you should be able to get a shot on it. You know, on the weak point. Now, I get it. If the weak point's just the back of the enemy, okay. I don't like that, by the way, at all. Because I don't think that doesn't make sense. And it seems like they have that variant of enemy for every faction except for the Illuminate. Because you got the... with them the destroyers with the shields. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you got those guys. Bad. That's some I mean, their shields are fucking immortal and soak all damage. It's very hard to get a shot off around them, but, you know, the shield that our guys carry, well, you can always take their legs out, you know, and an explosion happens, they get blown all the way across the map. You know, haha, that's funny. Come on, guys, laugh. Isn't that funny? Doesn't it feel good when you get ragdolled straight up into the heavens and the atmosphere? I mean, that shit is funny, by the way. But it's only funny for, like, maybe the first, maybe second time. I would say after the first time, it starts getting right out fucking annoying. You know? Because you're not competing with the game at that point. You're competing with the mechanics of the game. It should be in fine working order. But anyway, I know this has been mainly just me talking. That's why I didn't want to make it very long. I've still got a whole bunch of other things here I could really get into. But I think you guys get the idea that and why I'm here by myself making this video. I don't want to drag everybody else into it. This is just me putting out a video telling you what I think about where HellDivers going, because it's not just about where we are in 2026, it's about the direction that we're heading in. And with HellDivers, it's a very bad direction. It's going to be more monetization, more paying for, you know, whatever crappy little items they throw into these content drops. Those items will be boosted beyond insane to where they, you know, you have to buy them to. They'll probably attach a very small 2-day event to it, or maybe a 3-day or 4-day event to it. So you have to use it, or maybe a multi-week, maybe a week or so. But either way, you get it. You know, all put there just to sell that stupid fucking war bond. That's it. It seems like that's all the game is anymore. It's just, you know, one war bond to another. And I swear to you, that I'm not cool with, because like I said, we've already paid insane amounts of money to these guys. Insane amounts of money. On average, over $300 a person. And there were a lot of us, okay, at one point. Now that's dwindled down sadly to around 30,000, at least on the console side. I don't play PC anymore, so. But I'm going to cut it here because I know I'm probably over top of a half an hour, and this is just a bullshit video. But I mean, look, you guys can go and play the game anytime you want to. I'd like to put it up here and do teamwork and stuff like that. I'd like to put out videos like that. But at the same time, every now and then I feel like, you know, it's not a bad idea to sit down and talk with the guys. So I'm talking with you. And I know I'm going to get douchebags that are going to get on here and try to insult everything, anything they can. Sometimes I engage with them, but I'm learning not to, you know, to ignore the jesters and the jokers and the retards. But I mean, in all honesty, and like, I get nothing for doing this. So maybe for one, hit a like and turn on notifications, you know, all that stuff. Subscribe, please. That would be great. But the main thing, maybe give me your ideas of what's going on. Maybe I'm off the ball. Maybe they're doing exactly. Maybe Arrowhead's doing everything great. You know, maybe doxing somebody is like acceptable. You know, maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. And I'm not saying they directly doxed him, but again, this all. Why would one of their fans go that far? You know, this is all kind of a mess that HellDivers Arrowhead has made for itself. You know, like, if they had a normal way of releasing information, kind of like how I do my videos here, you know what I mean, on a normal large platform like most other games do. Like, here's a dev cycle, for instance. This is what we're going to be doing to the game, where, you know, we don't support this, something like that. I don't know, on a regular, not on their Discord, not on Reddit. I'm never going to Reddit, and I'm never going to their fucking Discord. Everything I've heard, I went to their Discord one time, and I'm telling you, if you do not bend over and worship them, you will get booted off of there. It is so insane. These guys, I'm telling you, they are suffering from a severe bout of egotism. They got popular, their game really sold, you know, people really like the idea of it, and then they just, instead of listening to us and going, hey, thank you, you know, thank you for having faith in my game, thank you for buying it and checking it out, and now that you like the path, instead of listening to us and people that are playing the game every day, the only reason to come back here and spend our money, No, what do? They double down, triple down, insult people, lie to our faces. That's pretty underhanded, and everything else. I mean, it's too much. They've gone too far, at this point. Like I said, my trip line where everything ended for me is when they started insulting the community base. I mean, almost every HellDiver in this game, I'm trying not to say anything insulting. Even you people that are really, really defending a company that doesn't defend you or doesn't care about your interests, they're still charging. As far as I know, you're still getting charged the same thing we are. At this point, you have to be getting tired of that. I mean, it's pretty much $10 a month, isn't it? So why shouldn't that just be a subscription fee to where we get all content? You know what I mean? And a guaranteed amount of missions. New missions would be great. New mission types. Not a different twist or a different variant of the same exact types of mission. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Let's go and see. Maybe they added a new mission type to this War Bond release that they got coming out. Let's see. What do we got? Major order. Hold the designated planets against the cyborg assault. Well, let me see what kind of missions they got on here. Number 5. Defend planet. Same exact missions as always. Okay, we're on extreme now. We're on suicide. All these look very familiar to me. Wouldn't you say? I'm not trying to be a smart ass. I'm asking you, seriously. It's like 4 mission variations so far. Yeah, it's like 7 in total missions, okay? And they just rotate them. I mean, not even to the max level. By the way, yes, I do level 10 HellDives. I don't like to do them, but I do them. Which, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm not seeing any level 10 super HellDives on this planet. Why does it keep kicking me off? Well, anyway, I'm gonna be dropping, so I might attach a video to the end of this.
The Galactic War.
It was just me talking. And like I said, guys, I just like to have the conversation with you. And I mean, is it just me? Am I the only? Because there's a lot here left that I could still go over. I mean, I got a whole book. I've been writing things down for quite a few months, like the humiliation ritual, and I do believe that. It's haha funny to watch us die over and over again. That is not a grunt fantasy. Nobody fantasizes about being that dude that gets shot in the face after he dumps a mag into an enemy and it does nothing to him. Like, get the fuck out of here. I don't know who told you what grunt has a fantasy like that. Or you're saying it's your fantasy of what it would be. So you're saying that your idea of playing as a soldier, okay, because that's what you would be doing, is that you would be underpowered and losing all the time. Really? I mean, you could do that in real life. Go join, I don't know, Iran or Africa or, something else if you really want to fantasize about being the loser. Change from the product we bought into... Yeah, by the way, this is not the game
war awaits.
That we bought. It isn't. You guys know that, right? I mean, the game that we bought, so when you even look at the box on the back of the case, I had somebody leave a comment, directly talking about that, when I had never said anything, really, I don't think, in that last video. If I did, it was very minor. You know what I mean? But it is true. And for people to pretend it isn't, it's, again, I just feel like there's people out there that they just care about being right so much. They don't care about the health or the state of the game. They don't really care about the game. They just care about, I don't know, being the smartest one in the room or having to be able to, create things. And by the way, if you do have the devs' ears and they are doing what you want them to, this game is in terrible shape compared to what it was. I mean, just saying, maybe you're not the average person. You know, maybe what you're thinking you want is not what everybody else wants. And there's,
Greetings, HellDivers.
just my opinion,
The
far
galactic
more
war
people who would
awaits.
rather have decent weapons, know what our standards are, what metrics we're using, how we win battles. You know, I think that a lot of people would rather all that and them to be right up front and not to be locked down on one platform and being able to kick people off. Anybody who says anything about the war bonds or anything, you kick them off. You know, I mean, I think that most people would be probably pretty upset if they found out a dev, I'm sorry, you know, somebody was doxxed and lost their job and access to one of their hobbies over a fucking challenge. A challenge to a game that he was going to pay, that he was going to give that money to charity. You know what I mean? And then all he wanted them to do was to beat it on Super Helldive, and it wasn't even a good challenge in my opinion. They could have did that flat out, but they didn't because they couldn't. But the next one that came along, I think that was a better challenge in my opinion, because they were like, all right, well, do it in this outfit, because that matters, right? Because you're gonna have different soldier types, but they're all kind of fitting the same cliche. You got support, assault, recon. You know what I mean? If you're using a sniper rifle, you're not assault,
Your
are you?
fellow HellDivers rage against the
You know what I'm
enemy's
saying?
tyranny.
And we got all variations in between, but for the most part, that still works. You know, when dealing with infantry stuff like this. And that whole argument, and I've heard this before, sorry, but these things need to be addressed. That whole argument that, oh, well, life's cheap to end Super Earth in the future. Is it really? We're at war with bugs, cyborgs, and fucking aliens. No, I would think that every life would be very important. You know, they wouldn't want people dying en masse because they wouldn't be able to field a fucking army for long. Do you understand what I mean? If you take too many casualties, and they proved that to us during many invasions where some of them we won, some of them we lost. You know, you can only lose so many divers, and then what happens? You lose the operation. You know? Man, I don't know, guys. I don't know what all the fix is for everything. You know, I'm just pointing out the issues and what needs to be resolved. The monetization needs to be stopped. Like this constant drip, like I said. And you can go over the rest of the points I made. I mean, I'm not saying I'm perfect.
Take us to the fight.
But I really think that we need, as a community, okay, we need to decide at this point, are we gonna walk with Arrowhead down this path that they're choosing to walk? And it's a very lazy patch too. I'm sorry, a very lazy path, and it's going to be a very boring one because, like I said, for the most part, mostly every day, it's just the same nonsense. There's nothing really special about any of this shit. You know, there's no reason to come back. They took the main reason, which is that and I'm sure that a lot of HellDivers would have put up with the repeating missions at that point if they just thought that their actions mattered. But at the end of the day, they really don't matter. As long as everybody's attacking the main objective, you're going to win. You know what I mean? If you're trying to do some strategic topsy-turvy there, I don't know how they have it set in the background because they won't tell us. You know, like, that's one thing about Elite Dangerous I liked. Elite Dangerous had a background simulation, and you could go in there and look at the stats on it and be like, okay, that makes sense. If I do, like, that's one of the things that I compare this game to in a way. It's not everything, but I mean in how you do the background simulation, and they have to have one. If they don't, then this game is not as... then people are going to burn out on the game. They're not going to want to play it, because there's only two things that are going to bring people in. New content, you know, fun stuff and all that. Preferably fucking free, not constantly charging for everything. And shit, man, I hate having brain blanks. Either way, it's mainly going to be new content. Man, I'm trying to remember, but I can't, guys. I'm sorry. I'm really tired anyway. My main thing, I'm still standing. I mean, my main issue with putting this out here, like I said, is that we need to have this discussion. And I'm interested in hearing what your opinion is, what you think. You know, what should we be supporting this, you know, into the future? I mean, because it's up to us as a community, and I don't know, the HellDivers community has shown that, hey, if you cross us too much, we will step it up. You know what I mean? And I mean, if the devs want to go broke, I don't see why they would fight us. That's just suicidal. You know what I mean? No matter what they might say, all the insults they might throw out and everything else. At the end of the day, all we have to do is stop buying their products. You know? And a lot of people just ain't playing anymore. I mean, like I said, I don't know. Let me see. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, to be honest with you. How many people we got on right now? So it goes sector by sector. So earlier I checked, it was 29,000. Now it's 35,000, which is, guys, this is a major order. Okay? It's a major fucking order. 35,000? You fucking kidding me? Okay, so you minus 35. So that'd be around 42,000, right? Am I off there? 35. Yeah, around 43,000 people. Which actually, that's not bad if you, like, you know, for an average game. But it's pretty bad for HellDivers. It's getting low. And over the weekend, wow, look at all these numbers stretched out over here. 1,742 there. 1,000 over there, 67 here. I mean, they could use all this to their advantage. All this information, how these divers are out in different places, maybe have... Dude, I wish I had creative, you know, some kind of creative control over this game for just a little bit. I'm telling you, I would add so many fucking objectives into here. I mean, I would add, like, just using the assets that are currently in the game. I'm telling you guys... What I'm being 100% with you. I would have some crazy shit in here. Like, I would have people getting ambushed. You know, I would add that in there. That would be such an epic fucking thing. You know, like bigger encounter stuff. Here, by the way, here's our other damn near 10,000 divers. What time is it? Yeah, it's like 4:47. So it's about that time. People get on and play. You know, play for an hour or so and then hop off. Either way, like I said, it was way above this before. We're talking 57,000 on one objective, and then you'd have like probably the same amount, if not more, people out on different objectives doing varying different things. Okay, so we have another planet that should be a strategic sidestep, which, by the way, you can see how bad we're doing on this main operation, because I checked this morning and we barely made any product towards. I mean, they're catching up. And this isn't criticizing the HellDivers. Like, you guys are golden, man. I know what you'll do for this community. I've watched you fight. What do we got here? There's 284 on this planet. I haven't made any videos calling this. Look, this war bond isn't going to last long enough for me to do all that shit. I mean, 5 days or not, this is kind of boring. It's just hold 3 points, you know what I mean? Do the same missions over and over and over and over and over and over again. And then we're going to get a drop, the 2 new mechs, which is going to be, I think, the Lumber and this is from HellDivers 1 lore. The Lumber, and it's like a Devastator type. I think it's going to be like a shotgun and a big shield and its left arm. Not saying I don't want that stuff, I do. But again, we just need better content. Anyway, look, man, I've talked too much. I didn't mean to be it this way. And I'm never going to be big on doing scripted videos anyway. This, like I said, this is just me hanging out with you and bringing up shit. You know, trying to talk to everybody that I can talk to and then get their opinions and their feedback. You know, in the future, I would love to see more interactivity, you know, honestly, with Rangers and just regular people that come in and talk and stuff, because I'm telling you, we have a great team of guys, man. I mean, all of us are dealing with real life stuff, but the time that they have, they really, you know, they put a lot of it into this community, and I very much appreciate that. I definitely appreciate them putting up with me, because I can be a flat out dick, especially when it comes to like running strategic operations, and the milsim aspect of it. I can be a little much at times. Man, I'm losing. Sorry, I swear I think it's because of the spring. Alright, anyway, I appreciate you tuning in if you did. If you didn't, it's cool. If you don't mind, thumbs up, give me a thumbs up, and you know, subscribe if you're into it. I mean, I'm gonna, like I said, I'll do my best to try to cover, but I'm not asking you for anything, you know what I mean, except maybe hop on, say what's up, I don't know, chill, whatever. But just real quick, I would say, if anything, if I get you guys more social and get you back to being social, I've won, in my opinion. That's my main objective with this channel. is to get all you guys, not just you, because a lot of you that would comment would be more socially active, but I'm talking about talking in video games, communicating, being tactical with your teammates and stuff. It really does matter. It helps a lot, you know what I mean? I don't know if you guys are seeing my thing here or not. Sorry if you are. I don't think so. But anyway, thank you for listening to me talk and yak this whole time. I mean, maybe I got it wrong. So I guess, like I said, I'm gonna ask all of you guys and all you HellDivers out there, what is your opinion on all this? You know, like the comments of the devs, what they're saying. Like, where do you think that we're on a good path to a really great game in the future? You know what I mean? Do you think that we have that this game is worth $300 plus? I think it's like $340 if you had to cost the game. Do you think it's worth that right now in the state it's in? Because that's how you have to measure it, right? But alright guys, I'll see you in a few days. I'll see about posting out maybe some gameplay a little bit later on with me and the guys. But Sua Sponte Deus Vult.
We must dare